So you guys were I'm hearing a lot of you guys wanted a theme song shortened, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that, and when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So, it's shorter. There you go. CrazyCatLady or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair educational for and entertainment purpose. It's like it's all they did. Well, those years ago. See? No, I don't want to do any more of it.
Hi everyone, Martha here. Are you ready for Daffy? You know I cannot do a very good Daffy voice, but I'd give it my best shot. So, one of you guys comment to what two cartoons I should review, and that the one who commented on my video on my last Looney Tunes video was D-Man Captain 1382. I'll make sure to put a picture of your yep. The two cartoons they picked me to look at was Great Piggy Bank Robbery and his Bitter Hat. And these are both Daffy Duck cartoons. So let's get started with the Great Piggy Bank Robbery. And before I get started on that one, I'm going to talk about what this one talks about, like one of the histories of something that I'm going to go to a brief history of it, but not say everything about it. What this is, this cartoon mentions Dick Tracy. Now, for everybody who doesn't know who Dick Tracy is, which I could definitely think a lot of you don't, because how old Dick Tracy is, unlike a certain other detective and gangsters, this one's not mentioned very much in pop culture as much as other things. Now, Dick Tracy is a detective who goes after gangsters, and is made during that big gangster free that was going on during this time, and also during the Great Depression. Like we had Bonnie and Clyde, Al Capone, Babyface, and a bunch of other ones that were going on in this time, and so they would design their characters based and have silly names, just like those guys did, and they would look very similar to what their names were. Basically, that's what Dick Tracy was. I never really I know they made a movie back during the 90s. Disney did. Not many people talk about it. Let me know if you want me to. If I can find it on Disney Plus, maybe I'll review it for you guys. But Dick Tracy came out in October 4th, 1931, and this is all I'm going to tell you guys, then I'll get to the cartoon. And it was written by Chester Gulp and Mike Clanson. Hopefully I said those two names right, but that is who made Dick Tracy, and that's basically Dick Tracy was about a detective who had to go around and stop mainly gangsters and get them arrested. And the reason why I brought this up is because Daffy, during the Great Piggy Bank Robbery, he's gets in the mail a Dick Tracy cartoon, a Dick Tracy comic, and he wants to be like Dick Tracy after he does reading it, and I kind of do, even though Daffy's not my favorite Looney Tunes character, I can kind of relate how he acts here, because every time I get a new book, I am so giddy I have to finish reading it really fast, or listen to it. So I can totally, I appreciate that. Even though Daffy sometimes is a jerk, he's nice to see that he has his offside for that kind of stuff. Even though Dick Tracy's not my type. I never read that kind of stuff. I'll probably more to read the character that when Daffy gets knocked out, said, "I want to be like Dick Tracy," and he comes up with the name Duck Tracy, where everybody's losing their piggy banks, and he's looking for the piggy bank after he has like a whole entire skit where he's like everybody's calling him and stuff like that, and he ends up losing his own piggy bank, and he makes the taxi chase after him, and he bumps into Sherlock Holmes, and he tells Sherlock Holmes, skedaddle. I read a lot of Sherlock Holmes books. Sherlock Holmes is more my detective story than Dick Tracy is. So, I don't know. You guys should read one, but I had to find one because those things are rare because how old they are. But, yeah. So, he finds a bunch of villains that look very close to some villains that Dick Tracy had. There's one literally called Batman, and it's a bat, not Batman, but I did find that one kind of funny. And there's one called Snake Eyes, which is just a guy with dice and having the dots, so that's why it's called Snake Eyes, and a bunch of other ones. So he ends up trying to get them arrested. There's one that tries to erase him because it's like Racer Man or something like that, or something close to that. If you want to correct me, go right ahead, but I think it was just basically a guy with a giant racer, and it erases him, and he shoots at them, and that's what Daffy does when he comes back out, and he defeats all of them and finds the piggy banks. And so these guys are the ones who stole the piggy banks, and he starts kissing his own piggy bank, and when he snaps out of his dream, he ends up kissing like a farm pig. And when he got on the bus and the little dreams thing, I think we saw Porky Pig in the background, so I did want to point that out. So there's Porky Pig's cameo in here. And so let me look up when this one came out and he worked on it. Remember, I won't be able to find pictures for all these artists, directors, and everything like that, because these are things that were taken a long time ago, and not everybody who were involved in this thing has a picture out online. So yeah. So this one came out 1946, July 20th. It was directed by Robert Clampett, starred by Warrant Foster, starring Mel Blanc, music by Carl W. Starling, animated by Rob Sternuller, Manny Gulp, C. Milty Z, and L.I.L.E. and Thomas McKimson was the layout. Background by Phil D. Gard. So that's that one. Now for the next one, we have the Better Half. His Better Half. Okay, so Better Half is basically Daffy gets married to a very abusive duck and has a kid, and he thought at first, okay, I'm gonna get married and have my wife do everything while I just sit down and lie around all day, like they did back in those days, where it's sometimes happens where they just make the wife do all the work. But I think this lady has a better idea where make the man do all the work. But now I think that they should work together and do all the work. That's the 50s for you. So yeah, and they after he gets tired, he finds out that he has a stepkid, and he has to take care of that. The wife makes him go and do dangerous stunts, and if it was somebody else, we would be saying that's abuse, but it's still technically abuse, but it's Daffy, so we're okay with it, because Daffy abuses everybody. So it's good for him to have a little payback, even though this is not the one he ever abused. So yeah, for the times he hurt Porky, all the times he hurt Fudd, and all the other Looney Tune characters, this is payback time, and yep, and it's okay. So yeah, it's fine. As long as it's not one of the nicer Looney Tunes, it's fine. So yeah. So what we have here is him like going to the park, him playing Native American, or as his cartoon calls it, Indian, and at least there's no racial suspicions here, really. Like, none of them like get red, had their face painted red or anything like that. The kid wears a feather. That's like the worst thing that happens here. And he has a little hatchet. I don't know if that's what the Native Americans call it, But yeah, they end up playing outside because he's literally forced to. He doesn't want to play Indian with this kid at first, but he's literally forced to by the mom, and then she forces him to take him to the fair, where he keeps on getting hit by the kid. The kid hits them as he wants to shoot a gun. Where, like, you know, on the fair, like all those fair things, you shoot and break things, but he doesn't want nobody getting hurt, so Daffy takes away the gun away from him and shows him how to do it. And the kid keeps on hitting the carny, and he keeps the carny warns him and says, "Do you hit me again? Do you hit me again?" Because he thinks it's the bullets ricocheting him in the head, or the blankets ricocheting him in the head, or he's shooting at him. But Daffy tries to outsmart him, point at the kid, and by making like a gun sound, and it still hits him. But he points at the kid. It was him. Don't hit me. But he still gets hit. And at the very end, Daffy has finally had enough of this happening to him. And so, even though he loses pretty much all his feathers, he still leaves her, which I totally understand. I would leave her too eventually. I am totally in Daffy's corner for once. This cartoon has turned me around and totally made me sympathize with Daffy, because even Daffy does not deserve to have this much things happen to him when he's not really done anything wrong to these guys. He's done things wrong to other characters, but would you blame him for leaving her? I wouldn't. So yeah, and even though I'm terribly okay with it, but I totally understand why he would want to leave her. So yeah, she wanted to take the kid to the zoo, even after he loses all his feathers. He still doesn't do it. He just gets a suitcase, and the cartoon leaves with him, leaving her. So yeah, when did this one come out? This one came out 1950, and it totally makes sense about how this cartoon is protected. And May 20th, and we got I Finnegan, starring Mel Blanc, and wow, my name is Martha, and the actress who plays Daffy's wife during this cartoon's name is Martha. How weird is that? Martha Word says uncredited, but okay. Carl Starling does music, animated by Ken Campen, Fall Robin, Art Davis, Gray, Gary Chimpkin, layout by Harley Park, background by Paul Juden. And that's basically it. So both of these cartoons were really good. So I thank you for suggesting that. So if anybody else wants to make suggestions, I know I'm a week late on this, but because last week I had a lot to do on YouTube, so I really didn't have a chance to do this, which I'm kind of happy I hold off, because if I didn't, the person who suggested these two cartoons for me wouldn't have had the chance to, and I would have had to wait a little bit later to do it. Thank you. I enjoyed these. They were really good. I think I liked the Terry one a lot better than the second one, but I do like both of them. They're both really good. So thank you. So like, favorite, and subscribe, guys. And even though he wasn't in this one very much, maybe I should start adding me doing this to it. Baby. That's all, folks. Bye-bye.